All right. WHGE 95.3 FM, the education advocacy station. Coming up, the Open Eye. Hey, sister. I see you there, Lady D. Get them started right now. Where my theme song? Hey, brother Bourne. See you there, bro. It's gonna be heavy on the day. I got so much stuff, y'all. Thank goodness. Yeah, that's what I'm starting to. What's on there? Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm your host, third eye optometrist, Patrice Gibbs. Yes, indeed, we are going to get them started. So much has been going on this week, and in the news and in our society and what have you. You know, I tell you what, what's up, Sherry? I see you, cuz. All right. Look, I had this quote from Dick Gregory, and I hope it gives you an idea of where I'm at. All right. It's fun. Like I said, it's a quote from Dick Gregory. What's dangerous is when the universe picks you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. One, you can never take them off. And you never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force anybody else to wear them. See things as they are. That's not easy for some of us. Hell, that's not easy for a whole hell of a lot of us, to tell you the truth. Now, wait a minute. Let me get this out the way, get my disclaimer out the way right quick. Let me do that. All right. Turn this air on. Hey, Bree. That's my great niece on there. I see you, sister. Yes, indeed. Much love. All right. Now, as you know, your open eye listener, you know where I start with history. I think his birthday was recent. I came up on this. Of course, anyone that knows me knows that I think the greatest pitcher of all time in baseball was the legendary Satchel Paige. Now, can you imagine being called one of the greatest pitchers to ever play the game by legends like Bob Feller, Ted Williams, and Joe DiMaggio, but never throwing a pitch in Major League Baseball? The logic seems so simple today. If you're the best of the best, you rightfully earn your spot on one of the big 30-league rosters. However, just over 70 years ago, that wasn't so easy. Satchel Paige dominated the Negro Leagues for 2 decades, receiving attention for his velocity, command, and fun personality. But it wasn't until Jackie Robinson paved the way by breaking the color barrier in 1947 that Page finally got his shot at the majors. While Robinson joined the Brooklyn Dodgers, the Indians were one of the first teams to show support of the movement, signing Larry Doby, who was the first African-American in the American League, to a contract just 2 months later. And just a year after that, they tried in Page. Page had already hit his peak. He played for 10 teams across 19 seasons in the Negro Leagues, captivating audiences in every city he traveled to. He was known to give his pitchers nicknames like Tommy for his fastball, or Long Tommy for his fastest heater. He threw 2 no-hitters that were recorded, but it was estimated that he threw a total of 55 no-nos throughout his career. 55 no-hitters. Satchel Paige. Even if his best days were behind him, that didn't prevent Indians owner Bill Veeck from signing Page at age 42, making him the oldest rookie in Major League Baseball. Everyone knew Page was the greatest player in the Negro Leagues of the prior 2 decades. Major League Baseball's official historian John Thorne told MLB.com in 2016, because of Page's age, that was a bold move, and Bill Veeck got more out of Page than he could have imagined. Veeck was scrutinized for the move. Page was 42 years old. How many wondered if it was a publicity stunt? But no matter what his intentions may have been, he received a stellar picture in return. Page pitched in 21 games after he was signed in July and made 7 starts. He owned a 2.48 ERA, struck out 43 hitters, allowed just 2 home runs, and walked 22 batters in 72 2/3 innings that helped lead the Indians to their second and most recent World Series championship in 1948. By the time he gets to the major leagues, he didn't have the dominating fastball that he had while he was in the Negro Leagues when he was a young man at his peak. I mean, the man had pitched an ungodly number of innings by that time, but he still had that pinpoint control. So yeah, in his prime, they clocked him at about 105 miles per hour. But as I tell people all the time, what really made Satchel so special, 105 is pretty darn special. But with 105, with pinpoint control, virtually unhittable. Page's stint with the Tribe was short. He made 31 appearances, 5 starts in 49, posting a 3.0 ERA with 54 strikeouts and 83 innings in his final season with Cleveland. From ages 44 to 46, he pitched for the St. Louis Browns and became a 2-time All-Star. Satchel Paige. If you want to get an idea of Satchel Paige's power and what he was like, watch the movie Big Long and the Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kids, starring Billy D. Williams and James Earl Jones. Billy D. Williams' character in the movie who is compared to Satchel Paige. There was a quote from that movie that Billy D. Williams made when he was playing Big Long. He said, "My fastball is so fast, it tends to disappear when approaching the plate." Damn. Yeah, that was Satchel Paige. WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye. And welcome into the show, my partner in consciousness, Nsoromma. What's up, brother?
He's your boy.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
How you doing,
bro? Hello, world. What's good? What's good?
All right. I know you was thinking what I said. You ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
And it was one of the first black baseball movies, right?
That might be the only black baseball movie.
But they did my man Chadwick that died. They did his movie, but
he played Jackie Robinson. Yeah. But actually, in was I think in the 50s, maybe the 60s,
Right.
Jackie Robinson played himself in a movie.
Oh, okay.
And he did that.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. WHGE 95.3 FM. The Open Island.
Yup.
How you doing?
Wagwan. Hey, yo, what's up? Yo, Don, what's good? Sherry, Boy, Bree. Hey, yo, Al.
Bree is my niece.
Bree, you niecey? Okay.
My niece's oldest daughter.
Okay.
Your uncle there.
Yeah. Morning, Sherry. What's good? Okay. Hey, yo, Vaughn, I'm reading you today, brother. So, I'm gonna be shouting you out all the time. Every time I see you throw something, I'm trying.
All right. WHGE 95.3 FM. Let me tell you something. But most people don't really want the truth.
Most people don't want the truth.
Nah, they just want constant reassurance that what they believe is the truth.
Oh, yeah.
And man, some of the stuff that people believe, it ain't the truth, y'all. It just ain't the truth.
I just had a belief conversation with a person too.
Okay.
Right? And I was like, you believe is hope and faith. That's all believe is.
Yep.
And to know is different. And they like, nah, I know I believe. I'm like, how do you know you believe? Okay, you know you believe.
You know you believe, and then you don't know.
Right. I say, I broke it down to them like this. You know your mom and dad.
Right.
But you believe in the Lord. So I left it at that.
I heard that. Yeah, you know what? It's something that reminds me of my old head.
What?
Scatman Billy. That's what he said about religion.
Yeah.
He said he was not satisfied to believe.
Right.
He had the need to know.
Right.
Okay. And hey, that's
most brains want to know instead of believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But see, for some people, it's easier to believe.
I have faith that I'm gonna hit this number for 200 million.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I believe. I know you gotta work.
Yeah. I believe if you get your ass up and go to work and get some money,
you will get that 200.
I know that, as a matter of fact.
I know that.
That's what. And look, I had mentioned this. I was riding with my coworker, and I had mentioned these cats to them.
Okay.
And some of the things that they had put out there. Now, they put this out there a minute ago, around the time of the murder of George Floyd. And that's Ben and Jerry. You gotta check out Ben and Jerry in some of their statements. All right? Check this out.
What?
The murder of George Floyd was the result of inhumane police brutality that is perpetrated by a culture of white supremacy. Yes. And what happened to George Floyd was not the result of a bad act. It was the predictable consequence of a racist and prejudiced system and culture that has treated black bodies as the enemy from the beginning. What happened to George Floyd in Minneapolis is the fruit born of toxic seeds planted on the shores of our country in Jamestown in 1619, when the first enslaved men and women arrived on this continent. Floyd is the latest in a long list of names that stretches back to time and that shore. Some of those names we know: Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, whose parents got arrested for protesting the murder of, what's the brother's name that just got killed? I got his name around here because I want to talk about it. But that was shot 60 times, fired at 90 times. Jeez Louise. And, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Emmett Till, Martin Luther King, and most we don't even know.
And a lot of them, their murderers got off scot-free.
Yeah.
Now, where does the remember the public used to take and get their own justice, throw them up against the wall and work them and throw rocks at them.
Yeah.
You know, to death.
Yeah.
That
was so-called biblical times.
That needs to come back because our government is tyrants.
Yeah, they are.
So if we as a people don't take control and have the government fear the millions of people instead of the millions of people fearing the government, it's never going to change.
No, it's not. You know, it's something that we don't realize our power. That's a big part of the problem.
Right, as a unity.
Okay, because the game is set up. The game board is set up on a table.
Right.
And the legs of that table are the backs of people who are bowed down. If you stand up, game over.
Right.
Stand up, game over. That's what you need to understand. Yeah. That young man's name, I know I just put it down here. Jalen Walker.
Oh yeah, I couldn't grab it.
Yeah, Jalen Walker, for those of you who don't know, if you don't know, probably been living under a rock for the past week or so, was pulled over for an equipment problem, a traffic violation. Okay, now this is a young man who was not mentally sound at that time. And the first thing that came to his mind was, oh Lord, I've been pulled over by these race soldiers. They're probably going to try to kill me. Jumped out the car and ran. Now they claim that he shot, that when they were, well, before he jumped out the car and ran, he led them on a car chase. And they claim that a muzzle flash that is supposedly on camera, all right, all you see is light. You know, I can't really say it's a muzzle flash, right? That he shot at them while he was driving. Now, let's look at some of this. Let's look at this. You're speeding down the road, running from the cops. Your door opens, all right? The wind is pushing your door, but you can get your gun out while you're speeding down the road to fire a shot at the cops who are chasing. This is allegedly what happened. This is the cops.
Now, why would I open the door with my window down?
Yeah.
I mean, they lie so much. They wear them badges in lying. They have to swear to lie to put that badge on. You know, that is incredible.
That seems to be the case.
And that's incredible.
Because, you know, they say the badge is a license to kill. It's also a license to lie, evidently. Okay? So he pulls over and he jumps out the car and runs. 8 cops chasing him. This is for a traffic violation now. 8 cops chasing him. All right? And they claim that while he was running, he acted like he was going to turn and pull this alleged gun he had and shoot at them. Now, first they try to tase him.
Yo, that's messy, man, because they got shot at once. And all these terrorists that's going around killing people and, you know, with the handguns, the massacres and all that, they walking them out and giving them hamburgers. So that's just the inequality of it. It's just
ridiculous.
Yo, man.
You know? So they said they tasered him, and they hollered out while they were chasing him. Taser, taser. All right. Now, usually, if you taser somebody, you're just trying to subdue them. You're not in any danger. All right. But they claim that while running, he reached in his waist and he was going to turn and shoot him. How did you run and turn and shoot at somebody in the middle of running?
First of all, from running, I'm running.
You're running.
I'm running. Now, if we're going to stand off and have a gun battle, we're going to have a gun battle. Well, I mean, yo, man.
So 8 cops fired 90 shots, hitting him 60 times over traffic violation. Then they go back to the car.
And he probably wasn't even supposed to be stopped. He
Probably
probably had all of his correct credentials and everything.
He had no record.
Right.
He had no criminal past. The reason I say he was in a fragile mental state, his fiancée had just died.
Wow.
Okay.
I know that.
Yeah. You know? And so, you know, he's in a mental state. They shot him 60 times. And then after they shot him 60 times, okay, they handcuffed him. You've been shot 60 times. The chances that you are alive are nil to none. Is highly unlikely. So they handcuffed him. And then in the back seat of the car, they found a gun with no clip. Allegedly. I don't give a damn.
No, but that tells the whole story right there. First of all, you can't go against the G-forces and open the door and while you're driving and shoot backwards because you're steering and driving at the same time. Right. This is not the movies. And plus his window was supposed to be down. So he could have just simply reached out the window if he did use the gun. Okay, now when you get to the gun, you say, okay, you seen this light, the spark, or whatever, right? And now you can't even find a clip that even holds a bullet to make a spark. You know, that you find so many inconsistencies in their stories once you start analyzing them and breaking them down that, you know, it's all cover up. Yeah. It's all cover up. And they only cover up on black people. Now, we don't have white people standing up for black people saying, yo, why y'all doing this to them? And, you know, we standing up for ourselves. It's not going to change because the white people are going to go get on the police force and go, oh, y'all can do that? Well, I'm going to do that too. You know? And it's a going on thing. And if you have a problem with a black person, you can just go be a police officer as a white person and then go back and get the person you had a problem with. I mean, and that's what they be doing. So we gotta really understand that. This is a tyrant that we dealing with, man.
That's what it is. Now, here's the thing. Like you said, the police,
right?
Okay. Who's on the police force? Because the FBI has investigated nationwide and stated without a doubt that white supremacist gang members and white supremacists overall are joining police forces. Okay? Now check this out. The sorry son of a bitch.
I missed that.
That killed Tamir Rice.
Mr. Care.
Okay. He applied for a position for a job in a small town in Pennsylvania.
And he probably got the job because the towns in Pennsylvania is some of the racist towns in America.
You got that right. Well, of course, they hired him and they're going to swear him in and what have you. All right, and he swore him in. But then it got out that this town had hired
this murderer
killed a 12-year-old child. Okay? And they started, oh, well, you know what the mayor said? Well, I didn't even read his resume. Are you kidding me? Who gets a job without the employer reading their resume? Okay? Now, the city official that hired him, right, okay, his social media was looked up. And on his social media, he said, Tamir Rice shouldn't have been dumb enough to be in the park brandishing a fake gun. It was a toy gun.
And he's in the park playing.
And he's in the park playing, a 12-year-old child.
White kids have real guns in the park playing. They don't do nothing.
And you know what? None of them get
They
shot.
ride up and go, oh, I like this. This is 1911. You know, when did your dad give you this? You know, and that's it. They teach white kids how to properly use them and be accurate with them so they can kill us as black people. They teach kids that at an early age, 4 and 5. I'll go to the range and I see them. These kids can shoot sniper rifles. Do you understand?
I don't want to get off the thing here. Though.
Okay.
But this cop, this city official who pushed to hire this cop, okay, He put on social media all the most disparaging things in order to blame this child for his own death. And this is who's seen to it that his murderer was hired. And then they go, oh, we didn't know. Yes, you did. Not only did you know, you went and recruited him. See, this is why we need the George Floyd Policing Act passed, which includes a database of dirty cops. So these cops can't go around and hire other people. Now, I got to give a shout out to Dr. Rashard Ritchie.
Shout out.
Yes, indeed, from the Young Turks, because what he did, he put the mayor's information online and encouraged people to flood their phones and emails with complaints about them hiring this child murderer.
Right.
And then he didn't get the job. Big ups.
But look what he had to go through, and look what we had to do for that.
Right.
That's what the racism is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like Sister Ra said, what up, Ra? Hamburgers for the racists and 60 bullets for the blacks.
That's right.
You know, and that's real. You know.
Now, yes, it is. Because there's a simple reason why white mass shooters get arrested while unarmed black people are killed by the police. They're white. You know? Look, did Jalen Walker deserve to be shot at least 60 times out of a possible 90 rounds? God, you talk about intent to kill.
Yeah, exactly. They get up in the morning, put their uniform on,
Mm-hmm.
and it seemed like they say, it's my turn to kill a black guy.
Yeah. It seems like that's a rite of passage.
Right. That's a initiation.
Yeah.
How many you kill?
Yeah.
How many you got under your belt,
Yeah.
Frank? Well, I got 3.
Yeah. I'm hoping to get 2 more.
Oh, man. That is so sickening.
Yep. But the predominantly white and overwhelmingly male perpetrators of mass shootings all over this country are known to be armed, known to still be an active threat when law enforcement arrives on the scene. Sometimes they have barricaded themselves or have body armor and multiple unused rounds and ammunition, which wish to defend themselves, and yet very often no suspects are apprehended, relatively unarmed. Okay.
I know you don't find them dead.
No.
I know they don't come up blazing like they do with black people. I know that they ain't run over to him and start shooting because he had the gun in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So what accounts for this disparity? It's the dehumanization. Dehumanization is all the rage these days. It comes to the 2020 election. Millions of Americans insist that their fellow citizens either don't exist or are somehow illegitimate. The Supreme Court dehumanized every woman capable of bearing children by determining they don't necessarily know how best to use their own bodies. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you something about this abortion thing right quick.
What?
Okay. The main people that feel affected by this and who is really targeted at are white women. Okay. And white women are up saying, hey, sister girl, black girl, this your fight too. Let me tell you something, sister girl, black girl. Where the hell was them white women when George Floyd was shot? Where the hell was them white women when Breonna Taylor was shot? Where the hell were they then? And now, look, don't get fooled by them again, because they did that crap to you in the late 60s and the early 70s to bring you in on their fight against white men. They don't give a damn about racism. They just want to be equal to white men and be in a position to oppress you along with the white men that they're dealing with. They can go to hell. Boom!
That's that.
That's right. You know? Now, as for this shooter in Highland Park, what was his name? I got it. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. What the hell is his name? Damn.
What?
Boom. Shoot, I have it right here. It was in Highland Park outside of Chicago. Okay, and I just looked at his name. But at any rate, this dude in Highland Park, his father. Now, this Jalen Walker was the black dude, the young black man that got killed.
Right.
His father signed for him to get the gun. He was not old enough to buy. And check this out. On top of being known sick individual, a few years ago, he had a knife and all these other kind of weapons, and his sister called the cops because he stood up in the house and said he was going to kill everybody. All right? And his sister called the cops on him. The cops came and confiscated his knives and weapons and this, that, and the other. Okay? And a few years later, his father goes out and signs for him to get a gun, to get an AR-15. Okay? His father got blood on his hands. Because if your father don't know your mindset, then he's not your father and he's not in your life. He's just the sperm you rolled in on.
He could have been that father and trained him to go do that. And yo, come on, you can get a movie deal. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
We become serial killers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you never know what that guy is thinking with his son. You know what I'm saying? Right. He might have been the one to put him up to it. You never know in type of them situations.
Yeah,
that's crazy. You can kill some black people and they can get the proper treatment that he needed to get for.
Yeah. Yeah. At any rate, like I said, you know, his father, right, definitely was a part of him owning the gun. And someone whose mindset, sickness, and hatred definitely disqualified him to own a firearm. That's what we need to understand that. Now, you know, it's something when, you know, we talk about these people mentally ill. And let me tell you what, I don't know if you heard of Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a congresswoman from Georgia. All right? Get your beat ready.
Okay.
Because she's that crazy.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she's crazy as hell. And the dumbest hussy in Congress. She has no business in Congress. I don't even think this hussy, you know what? I don't think she's barely just a little more literate than Trump was, is. Okay? And this is crazy as who now. She got a fake picture of the shooter, right? In Photoshop. She knew it was Photoshop. And she put on there that they put him in a little cage room as if this is going to help him. That was fake. They did not have him in a little cage room. Okay? Now, she is the same.
Embassy suite.
Huh?
They had him at the embassy suite.
They had him at the embassy suite. You know? Now, this is the same hussy that went and harassed survivors of mass shootings, school shootings, kids, and claimed that y'all took part of this. It was just a fake thing to take our guns. You talk about somebody else that don't need to have a damn gun is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Not only should she be kicked out of Congress because she was also part of the insurrection, all right, along with 136 other people in government who should all be arrested.
Right.
Okay. All right. Not only, you know, it is, you know, she's crazy and stupid and what have you. You know, but like I said, she was a participant in the insurrection of January 6th. No doubt. And that hussy needs to be in jail. And she sure as hell don't need to be in Congress.
I thought that when you do insurrection, you're supposed to die. That is punished by death.
Yeah.
That's why people doing what they do, the punishment don't apply to them like it applied to the black person.
How about that?
If it was a black group just standing out there, just chilling and barbecuing and eating burgers, they had came up and shot them and did all kind of stuff for them for just being on their property.
And that's what they did.
Right. And these people, they run in their office, go through all the desks and trying to find their paperwork from the crimes that they did, searching for certain people. What do you mean? You can see the injustice.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, because if you're wealthy and powerful, see, the wealthy and powerful are engaging in wide-scale crimes from human sex trafficking, because who is it? Just Lane Maxwell, that dude that you know was providing all the pedophile services.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his girlfriend.
Jeff Epstein.
Yeah.
Epstein.
Yeah. You know, they're like I said, they're engaging in rigging college admissions, defleecing taxpayers, while most of the court system's focus is on policing and jailing people for the crime of being poor. You did know that it's basically damn near illegal to be a poor person in America. Poor and black will definitely get you jammed up. Let me tell you about child support, all right? I know this couple. Right? Okay, yeah. I know this couple.
Right.
All right, they had a baby, but they didn't get along. All right, but they were mature, decent people. And because they didn't get along, they knew they didn't belong together. But that had nothing to do with participating in the correct upbringing of their child.
Right.
So the father was supportive. He didn't take him to court for child support. He was supportive. He gave all he could, but he still had to have a home and a car. He had to have a home so that when the baby visited him, he had somewhere to take the child. And when he had to go pick the child up because she had to go to work, he had to have a car to put the child in, right? But he still was a major contributor to her financial situation because she was the primary caretaker of the child.
Right.
Okay? They cut her hours at work. So she goes for assistance, okay, from the state.
Right.
The state says, oh, you can get WIC, you can get a food stamp, you can get all this.
We can hook you up.
We can hook you up.
Okay.
But you got to put him on child support. He said, well, there's no reason to do that. He's a major contributor to me and my child's financial situation. They said, well, we can't help you then. She said, so she went and talked to him. He said, look, you know, you're not going to make it like this. I ain't got enough to keep it going like on the level that, you know, our child should be cared for.
Needs.
Right. So go ahead and put me on child support. See, this was the trap. So she said, okay. So they agreed. So she went and filed child support. So now they're taking money out of his check. He can't make the rent. He can't make the car payments, and he got to let his car insurance go. So now he's falling behind. Okay? In the state that he's in Tennessee, falling behind on your child support is a felony. So they lock him up. And now here's the crazy part. They lock him up until his arrears on child support are caught up. How the hell are you going to catch up your arrears on child support sitting in jail and not able to go to work?
And in jail, you making 4 cents an hour or something.
Yeah, and it comes out to about $30 a week.
But that's the setup, man.
Yeah.
I was in that, man.
Mm-hmm.
That happened to me.
Yeah.
I know about that person.
I heard
You
that.
know, and that's their setup
Mm-hmm.
to destroy the black family.
Yep.
Because they won't do that with a white family.
Mm-hmm.
They let the guy still be in the house and all this other stuff. I mean, it's so different when it comes to the black being within this court system that it's unconstitutional, whatever you want. I don't know what to call it. You know, it's messy.
Right.
Come on.
Yes,
It's messy.
Absolutely messy.
You know,
It's
that's crazy,
absolutely
man.
messy. Right? Now, while this is going on in the meantime, you got these fools out here running around and some black people feeding into it. That, you know, they're going to take your guns and freedom. They're going to take your guns and Bible. And it's socialism. Socialism, they don't even know what the hell socialism is. Because why you so worried about socialism taking your freedom, capitalism stole your pension, took your savings, sent your job overseas, robbed you of health care, dismantled the educational system, and put you in debt, giving you only racism, xenophobia, hate, and guns. All right? Now, this is all you got. Peak game. Peak game. All right? They priced us damn near out of existence. Look at inflation. All right?
Right.
I like some fried chicken, and I can cook it. I'm pretty good at it.
Right.
I'm over. All right? I usually get the family pack. You know, a big chicken wings cost about $12, $13. Or it did.
A pack of 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right? That price went up to $19. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's almost doubling like the gas.
That's right.
Everything is about to do a double up.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know? Gas, like you said. See the dude come in, get $5 worth of gas. I said, where the hell are you going? To the next gas pump? $5 worth of gas is just a drip. It might cover the bottom of your gas tank.
it's $5.69 a gallon, so he ain't even get a full gallon.
Hey, no, he didn't get a full gallon. You know, that's word. Like I said, the price is getting out of existence. Okay, and then give everybody guns. There's levels to this. Pay attention to detail. All right, because when you're in a position where you can't eat and you can't feed your children, all right, you're subject to go out and rob somebody. And to rob somebody, you need a gun. But guess what? Everybody got guns. You're going to pull up on the wrong somebody to rob, and you're going to get shot. Okay? Now, everybody got guns, and we damn near priced out of existence. This is called population control. Because the more citizens shooting people, the less citizens there are. That's what. And this is what they're doing. Pay attention to detail.
Not only that, when you're shooting people and less people, more people go to jail. Because most of the people that shoot a person is going to have to do some time for shooting that person anyway.
That's what.
So it's all about the money flip, man. That money flip is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. That it is. And what is this about? Well, let me tell you. It's about genocide. All right, and there are 10 stages.
10 stages of genocide.
10 stages of genocide.
Okay.
1, classification. People are divided into us and them. That's an American tradition.
I mean, that's been like that since they landed in America.
Yeah.
Supposedly on that little teeny Plymouth Rock.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. People are forced to identify themselves. Okay? Case in point, seen a sister, she's getting off of work. She's going to pull up into the Wawa or whatever it was to get gas, the Mountain Dew or whatever, right? This white woman comes over and says, excuse me, but what are you doing with a car that nice? None of your damn business. She calls the cops. The cops come show up. One comes to the passenger side, stand back a little bit, all right? The one comes right to the window, all right? This is set up for murder as a rule. Now, this scares the hell out of the sister. You need to identify yourself, okay? Well, that's against the law because she did nothing illegal, so she has no need to identify herself to the cops, okay? Then I'll tell you what this is about. See, during slave patrol, you had to have your papers. So now, any white citizen can be deputized, because everybody can get a gun. Any white citizen can be deputized
with the white sheet.
To come up and demand your papers or your identity.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
That's why when I get pulled over, I call the FBI. Okay. And I have them on hold. Listen, I'm getting pulled over by 2 racist police officers, and I feel as though my life is being threatened. Hold on. And then I'm talking to them. What is it, sir? We have to protect ourselves before they even get to us.
Okay. The third step,
right,
or the third stage, all right, discrimination. People begin to face systematic discrimination. That, again, is an American tradition. All right. The fourth stage, dehumanization. People are equated with animals, vermin, or disease. How many times have they run around calling us monkeys? These pink-shade monkeys with no lips like chimpanzees got the nerve to call us monkeys. Kiss my ass. Organization. The government creates special groups to enforce their policies. Militarized police bases. The sixth stage, polarization. The government broadcasts propaganda that turn the populace against the group. Okay? So what they do is, they put out propaganda to dehumanize and criminalize us and our skin.
That's why we are the only ones in the news. Anytime the news is on and it's something bad, it's always a black person.
It's always
likely to be in front of your face.
Which is why you need to tune into the open hour.
That's right.
Preparation. Official action to remove, relocate people begins. Okay? Think about some of the housing projects that have been torn down. And what's happened, when you see a Starbucks bust up in your black community, believe genocide is not far behind.
Right. You're not getting ready to be there.
Right.
Right.
You know, eminent domain. The city of Wilmington is trying to pull eminent domain again on its citizens. They're going to relocate you. Okay? Persecution. Of course, it begins with memory, with murders, theft of property, and trial massacres, which a lot of these mass shootings are trial massacres. Okay? Of course, you know, the murder of unarmed black people by the police. All right? Now, here's one that a lot of us not aware of.
What?
Theft of property.
Oh, yeah, they steal our property and they still stole you.
Stole you. How about that?
So,
all right? They will pull you over and confiscate your money and say that you got that money participating in a criminal enterprise.
Right. And you work 90 hours that week.
Yeah. Yep.
But we're going to take this and you got to come downtown to get it and all this inconvenience for you. You know,
extermination. Wholesale extermination. Like I said, that's what these trial these mass murders are about. They're trial murders. You know? And like you said, we cannot move away. Denial. The government denies that it has committed any crime. Okay? And like we've been talking about all morning. All right? You take a young brother.
Right.
Stuck on for a traffic violation, 25 years old, allegedly committed a traffic violation, attempt to flee from traffic stop because he's afraid that after what he has seen from the behavior of the cops, the likelihood that he's going to get killed.
And that's incredible that it happened to him.
Yeah.
You know, that's really sickening.
It is. And just like the sister I was telling you about, when she finally got past all this, let me tell you how she got past all this. A co-worker happened to be in Wawa who was white. He filmed the whole thing, and he asked, what is she being pulled over for? She said, can you just call my mom? And the cop said, no, you don't need to call her mom. He said, if she wants me to call her mom, I'm going to call her mom. But I know that this woman did not steal that car and that she did nothing illegal, so what you got him for? Oh, well, since, you know, this white guy
said, I know her.
Yeah.
Listen, I know her. She sits next to me at work.
Yeah.
And she's a good one.
Yeah. She's one of the great ones.
You know, that's so sickening. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it is. You know, meanwhile, this 22-year-old in Highland Park murdered 6 and shot 30 others, attempted to flee, but was taken into custody without incident. And this is what's going on.
Now, it'd be wrong if people start responding to these Karens when they go in their house, burn their house down, and tear their car up or tear up their property, and you come outside, there's 50,000 black people out there chanting racist. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
When we start doing stuff like that and start reacting and start fighting back, we become terrorists.
Right.
You know, instead of wanting to be killed, we want to fight back. We become terrorists. You know, and that's just crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's like you said, that's just nuts. That's just nuts, man. You know? And the thing is that what they want to do with these white supremacist evangelical, what they want is they want a theocracy. You know, there was another time in history, all right, where science was not taken seriously and religion ruled the world. You know what that time was called?
What?
The Dark Ages.
Oh.
That's what. And it stayed the Dark Ages in Europe. It was the Dark Ages in Europe, not in Africa.
Okay.
And it stayed the Dark Ages in Europe from the fall of the Roman Empire and like 300-400 BC, whatever it was, until 711, when the Africans came in and re-educated the Europeans again. Okay. But when they re-educated them, you know, they stayed there with them 700 years and this, that, and the other, and the Europeans had enough of taking baths and being told to put spice on their food, and they joined together and they ran the Africans out. Okay, and what they did was, they kept on with their mindset. Just to give you an idea, you fast forward years later. Okay, any discussion about what the Bible does or doesn't condone is actually a distraction, because America is not a theocracy, which is what they want. Drag us back to the Dark Ages. All right, religious text shouldn't be used as a basis for justification for public policy ever. Okay, never ever. All right, because some of the things that the Bible actually condones will trip you out. All right, but the Republicans, they understand their society. Just to give you an idea, when people say rape culture, all right, this is the reason. All right, I don't really go with that rape culture thing, especially when you try to push it on the Black community. All right, but when you have white Republicans, European American Republicans, right, saying things like, and somebody actually said this. Check this out.
What?
Rape is kind of like the weather. It's inevitable. So just relax and enjoy it. Okay, you a woman, this fool is taking your manhood. I mean, taking your humanity.
Right.
But you should, according to the Republican Clayton Williams, he sound like he's from
He one of them persons that may rape his daughter and think it's okay or something. You gotta know who you're dealing with, man.
That's what.
Those people is very, very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
He's crazy. And you can tell he's dangerous from that thinking.
From his right. And he has colleagues
that like go along with that.
They go along with that.
Because it's a group of them. You got 5 or 6 of them. They go skiing and raping the big guy. They're gonna go skiing and we're gonna just Yeah, man.
Now this fool said if it's a legitimate rape, the female body has a way to shut that thing down. What is a legitimate rape? I didn't know about that.
I need to be ready.
oh man, no, because I'm gonna have to say what I'm gonna say about that outside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And this other fool says rape victims should make the best of a bad situation. You got somebody violently taking your humanity. How do you make the best of that bad situation?
And my thing I would say, would you want a gun in that situation as a lady or a blanket?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. And so if they taking your right away, you could be getting out your car and a young man sees you, likes you, come over to you, clunk you in your head, throw you back in your car over your trunk and take you, and then you get pregnant and they get 5 years and you can't have abortion. If you do, you get 25 years.
And your doctor get 99.
Get 99. Yo, do you listen to these politicians, man?
The thing is, here's the real crazy, guys. What they say about when you get pregnant. Even when life begins in that horrible situation, it's something that God must have intended to happen. What kind of God do you pray to with your sinful ass?
They said it was what God intended when they was hanging us and burning us in trees, because they was doing it in the name of Jesus and in the Bible. They was reading the Bible while they was doing it. I mean, we gotta understand how
this mindset,
right? How it don't go together. It none of it goes together. But they doing it like it does.
Yeah. You know what? Let me tell you something.
What?
No, the Supreme Court is at it. Like I said, they've been passing laws that's dragging us back to the 1850s.
Right.
Okay? Slavery, segregation, voting rights, gerrymandering, and abortion all have one thing in common. What? States' rights.
It's the states' rights to make that decision.
Yeah. What that means, states' rights, is code for leave it up to the races.
Right.
Remember, Republican demon Ronald Reagan, when he started his campaign for president, he started in Philadelphia, Mississippi, where the 3 civil rights workers were killed. And he started that with the words, I believe in states' rights. That's the people you're dealing with. He believes in states' rights, which is most of what these Republicans and what have you deal are. You know, this is how they feel. They believe in states' rights, which means they believe in their racist state right to subjugate you.
And I didn't realize that every state is a business.
Yes.
It's a corporation.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, of course they're going to protect their corporation.
Yeah.
They got to take care of their big houses, send their kids to school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these politicians that's up in them positions, they ain't thinking about us. They're thinking about them and them only and their kids' futures.
That's right.
But our kids' futures, they want our kids to work for their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way they try to set it up.
That's
And that's just
crazy. Well, y'all, we coming around
it's
to
worse than crazy.
shutting it down. It is 12 o'clock. Stay tuned for Timeless Thomas. He'll be in a minute.
Yup.
But I want to give you a quote from Khalil Gibran.
Okay.
Great author and poet.
Okay.
This quote is, the teacher. No man can reveal to you aught but that which already lies half asleep in the dawning of your knowledge.
Okay.
The teacher who walks in the shadow of the temple among his followers gives not of his wisdom, but rather of his faith and lovingness. If he is indeed wise, he does not bid you to enter the house of his wisdom, but rather lead you to the threshold of your own mind. Ooh, yeah. And as we always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority.
To those who treat you as an option.
The open eye.
Nsoromma in the building.
Patrice Gibbs, WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing
it. Yo, y'all hung in there on the whole joint. I'm impressed. Yo, it was good. Listen, thank y'all for tuning in. And yo, I know we say this every Saturday. You know we like Russell Simmons. He only say thank you for coming and God bless. But yo, thank y'all for tuning in. God bless. See y'all next week. You dig? Yo, Pat, you got something to say?
Okay. I hope you learned something, because I always do before I get here. All right. I don't know if I have the right to call myself a teacher, but if you learn from me, you taught me something. Thanks.
Nsoromma streaming everywhere. You dig?
All right. Peace.